Hi, this is Ashisha Bedekar and welcome to my podcast, The ARB Show. I'm thrilled to introduce today's guest, Vaibhav Goyal. Vaibhav has over 20 years experience in building various technologies, managing deep tech AI products, and he has been part of many digital transformation projects. Is the co-founder and CEO of Predixion AI, where they're building highly reliable ML platform for data scientists and ML engineers. And they're also helping companies build customized AI solutions. Vaibhav is also a startup mentor at NASCOM Deep Curve, IITM Incubation Cell, and Telangana AI Mission. He's also a LinkedIn top voice in AI. Welcome to the show, Vaibhav. Do share your life journey and your vision for Predixion.
Thank you, Ashish, for such a lovely introduction, and I look forward to this podcast. So, for me, Predixion AI is all about enterprise AI transformation and new products. Okay, so the journey that we have is like this. Okay, so far we've been hearing about AI for so long. Okay, but as per Gartner report, it says 85% of AI projects are still in lab. They are still in an experimentation. And there are a lot of challenges in productizing and commercializing AI projects. So we are actually working in an area where we're trying to bridge this gap between projects which are in lab and projects which are live. Okay, so there are a lot of pieces to that. Okay, to take a project from lab to the live in real world. Okay, so that's the attempt. We will be building sort of developer tools to bridge this gap, so that developers' productivity and developers' efficiencies increases. They leverages a lot of open sources, a lot of libraries out there. They work on best practices which are required to commercialize the application. And using our platform, they can also manage these applications and continuously evolve data models and applications and create real business impact.
Excellent. Thank you, Vaibhav. So I think, interestingly, this is the third episode which covers AI in some form. So as I discussed, the format of this podcast is where the guest talks about typically 5 highlights in a domain. So I would request you to talk about the top 5 use cases of generative AI for enterprises. And I'm sure that will be very helpful for the audience. Also, as you rightly mentioned, that this is an extremely evolving field, and there's some new tool about AI always happening, right? For example, today on Twitter, you talk about how Bard has come up with something new. Then someone talks about how these are the cool things which you can do with ChatGPT. So everyone is like small kids in a playground trying to see what's cool and what's new. But from idea to real business value, that's the journey which all need to take. And I think your points on that would be really helpful for the audience. So over to you, Vaibhav.
Sure, Ashish. I think so. What I'll try to do is I'll try to cover top 5 use cases for of generative AI in enterprise AI area, essentially in some order. Okay, that I understand them. Okay, so I think first area I want to talk about is customer service and customer operations, which is an area of interest to a lot of enterprises in terms of serving their customers. As what they say, right? The efficiency and efficacy of a customer service as a department actually determines the success of an organization in itself. Okay, so we have seen various adoptions of technologies in customer services and operations over the years. But now with ChatGPT coming in and generative AI, we have with the power of generative AI, enterprises can build really intelligent and really powerful chatbots, which are super intelligent, which means they understand the real problems, they understand the context, they can help answer your queries very quickly in various different languages, various different formats, and customers will be really happy. So I think that's first big thing which is happening out there, where a lot of these new chatbots are getting built, which are not just rule based. These are really intelligent chatbots. It is almost like talking to a human now, essentially, with a chat-like interface. It could be even voice-based bots where a person who is not so comfortable with a text chat can use voice, okay, to communicate. So while enterprises are building chatbots on text as well as on voice or a mix of both, these are not just rule-based, as I said earlier. These are more intelligent, where they understand the real pain point, real queries, real context, grab them very quickly, and answer questions in a way which are more personalized in your own language, in the way you understand them, and also follow it up. Okay, so it's not just one or two-way communication. It is like a series of communication which happens like a conversation, okay, like the way human talks to another human. Okay, so typically this is how chatbot is designed on using generative AI, and it frees up a lot of bandwidth at L1 and L2 level of customer care, and make them more efficient in terms of their functioning. So I think this is one big thing which is happening out there, and a lot of enterprises are actually adopting this.
Right. In fact, just yesterday I was blown away by a demonstration video of an AI tool called AI.ai, and this is kind of a natural language demo wherein someone was kind of calling in on behalf of Tesla, and they had a quite normal conversation with the customer, and that was quite impressive. Also, another thing when we talk of AI is the fact that just like you have got a CAPTCHA, maybe you might have something at the enterprise that, hey, we don't have any humans right now, but you can talk with our AI. Do you like that? So
yeah,
maybe there will still be people who like to have the imperfect but human touch compared to a perfect but AI touch. Maybe I'm just thinking aloud.
This is, I think this is a vision, okay. And just to elaborate on this point, these chatbots are very much like humans. So I think human-like interface or human-like communication is what typically the design of these chatbots are, okay. So that person is comfortable, person feels more human, more empathic, right? So I think that those are softer aspects of any communication which are of prime importance while designing such solutions. Okay, yeah.
Great. So what would be your second area which you would like to highlight?
Second area I would like to touch upon is marketing. So I think let us go behind marketing and understand like what real marketing challenges are out there right now. Right. So as brands are becoming digital, and also like the audience are spreading across countries and globes, it is super vital for any brand or any organization or a marketer, right, to send out communication to lot of people. But these people are very different in terms of the language they understand, the kind of literacy that they have, the kind of age groups they come from. So it is like a challenge of reaching out to people with different mindsets, different backgrounds. Okay, so there is an angle of personalization which is required, and with AI coming in, this is possible now. So I can pretty much send out a communication which is a brand communication, which could be information sort of thing, or it could be more of education and awareness communication which I want to spread out to my target audience. So I can use AI to personalize the communication and ship it out. Okay, so by personalization, what I mean? Okay, personalization can happen at multiple levels. Okay, so personalization in terms of language, personalization in terms of the style of communication which is used, personalization in terms of formats that are used, personalize in terms of even the voice which comes out of it. Okay, so here that there are dual challenges. One is like to keep the brand identity intact, right? So brands obviously have to speak like a brand. Okay, but the entire brand identity and brand communication has to be tailored to specific needs and specific personality traits. Okay, so I think with AI we can personalize this communication at scale. So I think that's the power. Okay, so I can literally send out this communication with 1,000 different variations and combinations. Okay, and personalize it to an extent where now I'll feel that this brand is talking to me. Okay, with my name, my language, with my kind of style of my preferences. Okay, so every customer out there, right, feels this communication is actually designed for me. So I think that's the power of real AI, which generative AI can amplify and help marketers in a very big way. Okay.
Right. So it's like having best possible copywriters at scale. And I think another trend which will again come with this is AI to identify the content is written by AI. Because, for example, you can think about college students using this to complete their kind of term papers or submissions or things like that. And I came across a very humorous video which talked of how the student rigged up a kind of a system in which there was its term papers were been written by a robotic pen, and input was given by AI. So we'll see across something very interesting use cases as we stumble upon this thing, because as you rightly mentioned, these are very early days for AI, right? We don't know what's how successful it is, what are the actual ROI, and many a times many things are the machine learning platforms of yesterday are now called as AI. Many times it is also a fancy new name for the same stuff, right? So yeah, so that's
it is not just limited to text, right? So you can also imagine, let's say, Shah Rukh Khan talking to you, okay? So it can even be voice, okay?
Yes,
voice communication is being cloned into some celebrity and celebrity talking to you, okay? So at a scale, okay, essentially. So the communication can be a text, it can be audio, it can be video, and I can personalize it. Eventually.
Got it. Yeah. In fact, there was some advertisement or some promotion months back in which I think it was Shah Rukh Khan who talked about a specific. It was linked with, I think, a local area shop. Right?
Local area shop.
Okay. Like I think it was Cadbury or one of those things.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so this
Cadbury now available at XYZ shop, which is close to you, because one is based on your phone. You can find out where or paste at the back end, map it with the nearest location, and do the magic in terms of having the kind of ideal context and content, which is great, fantastic. So this is really exciting.
And this was part of this local India campaign, I think. So we were promoting this local products essentially, and then using this technology, which is called voice cloning technology, personalization was created, okay, and it was distributed at scale, okay, essentially. Yeah.
Excellent. So what would be the next few points you would like to cover?
Yeah, so I think I would want to take up sales now. Sales is a department which is which actually is responsible for closing a lot of new deals. Okay, so I think sales as a function is getting transformed like anything with AI coming in. So let us try to understand what really the challenges of salespeople are. Okay, so on one end, I have a lot of leads, okay, to follow, which actually come from a lot of these campaigns which I run. So I would need to understand a bit more about the leads, to enrich them, to nourish them, to really go after it. Okay, so what do I need? Okay, I need to know more about people who are involved, like what are they saying. I need to understand about use cases and projects which are being discussed internally. I need to understand who are the key people who are influencing these decisions internally. So I think there are lots of internal insights and information that I need in order to attract and talk right thing to right person. Okay, so pitching for me is super vital. Okay, so if imagine using AI, I get highly recommended information about a specific project that I'm pitching. Okay, both in terms of the project as well as in terms of the person itself that I'm talking to. With real insightful information, I can really tailor-made my pitch and increase my prospect. Okay, essentially. For converting it. Okay, so it's almost like it is a commonplace now that when we go for a meeting, we check the LinkedIn of a person and understand the person and try to talk in that language. Okay, so this particular thing can be done out and at a scale, and a lot of these salespeople, right, can really benefit using these insights to convert their leads essentially. Yeah. So I think that's interesting development which is happening, and as I said, right, multiple use cases. Okay, so Yeah.
So how would you say that it is different from the HubSpots of the world, right? I mean, CRM, sales CRMs have been around for many years. Like you have got HubSpot and Cloud CRM, multiple things. So any specific AI tools which you can refer or mention?
Yeah, so these CRM tools, as we know, right, they are more about information and they are more about tracking. What I'm talking about is real insights which are supporting them, okay, essentially. So something like, let's say, Ashish, okay, I want to meet and talk to you. I want to understand. So I think with this tool, okay, let's say the specific tool which helps me understand your personality. So there's a personality trait tool which I use to understand you as a person itself. Like, so to understand yourself means what? I need to understand your behavior. I need to understand the kind of language you speak. I need to understand your interest areas. I need to understand more about some of the discussions and projects you have closed recently, essentially. So I think I'm going deeper, okay? Using this tool, I'm trying to profile you, my prospective client, and using this information, when I talk to you, I talk about those specific interest areas that you have. I talk in your language. I talk to your tune, essentially, and try to tailor everything to this. So there are tools which are just doing buyer persona profiling, essentially, which helps me as a salesperson in a very big way. Yeah.
Got it. So yeah, I mean, from a normal perspective, if I have to do this manually, right, I would have to go through your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter feed, your company details, see what are the latest news items, what are the new deals, etc. If there is anything in the social media about the company or in your specific department, any awards which you have won, right? There are multiple data fields, but if everything can be combined and made relevant, available to the sales, it would really help closure. Yeah, that's a very valid point.
And so, imagine something like an icebreaker. Okay, so I think when I meet somebody first time, I need to have that common ground of interest, essentially, right? Where I can talk in your language. I can talk. Let's say you want to talk about AI, okay, as a field, and you like this area very much. So I can start this conversation with something in AI that you have spoken recently, okay, and then use that as a starting point to get into the discussion, essentially. Yeah.
Got it. So what would be your fourth point which you would like to cover?
Yeah, so fourth point I would like to cover is about product R&D. Okay, so this is another area of interest to a lot of these FMCG manufacturing companies which are looking to roll out innovative products in the market. But there's a lot of lag right now which is out there. But using AI, they can really spin off these new innovations in very fast way. And the way it works is that I can so whenever there's an R&D cycle which is running, like I come up with new ideas, I come up with new designs, okay? So generation of these new designs plus packaging them in a way where I can actually showcase it to my end client and take feedback without really implementing them. And using this feedback, I come up with something which is a concrete product idea. Okay, so running this entire R&D innovation cycle till market and seeking feedback from the end customer in a more finished way, I can easily achieve it using AI. Okay, so product R&D is one big area where a lot of these FMCG brands, I've seen recently HUL in India is actually adopting this already, and with new line of products that they are rolling out, they're all being iterated and prototyped using AI, essentially.
Right.
And we can actually help them cut down this R&D time as well as the budget, essentially, overall.
Right. Because in many of these things, it's a very rigorous cycle of iterations and going through that whole process. You iterate certain chemicals combination, test whether it works. If it doesn't work, drop. Try with some new part. So this whole iterative process, which in a manual way would be extremely long, cumbersome to kind of do that, and also possibly building some possible logical linkages between certain components, and in fact some kind of a root cause analysis may be happening at the background which could be leveraged. I don't know. I think pharma could be another area which is sort of
so it is like without I really implementing or investing in real production, I can mock up a lot of these things. Okay, so I can literally create mock-ups in a way which can resonate to my target audience. I can seek feedback from them and I actually take a call on whether to go ahead or not. Essentially, so it literally like on an aisle, right? I want to try out a perfume, okay, with the packaging. Okay, so I can actually do it with the color combination, with the style that I want to do it, and take feedback from the end client. Essentially, yeah.
Got it. So that's so has been excellent so far. So coming to your last point, last area, what are some of the focus areas you would like to mention on AI?
So the last area I want to cover upon is about software engineering. I think software engineering and coding is something which is really being disrupted now with AI. Okay, we are now a lot of code can be generated using generative AI. I think a lot of software programmers who love GitHub and also Stack Overflow for the reasons where they find a lot of this debugging code and a lot of help from other fellow developers. Now are trying to move to tools like ChatGPT for pair programming, where they can generate code which they can reference. They can also discuss it with their colleagues. They can also find solutions to their problems, essentially. So now these tools are becoming like their buddies, where they can seek help for new code ideas, new code designs, debugging their existing code, improvising it, analyzing their code from multiple perspectives. And as you speak, right, I just was reading somewhere that CEO of Stability AI, right, he's predicting that most of the routine software jobs which are there in India will actually go off, essentially, with AI taking up that role of generating a lot of this code and helping a lot of companies essentially create products faster. So I think this is going to be huge, impact on the regular software coding development work which happens. Right. So right now a lot of programmers are already adopting it, but as we go forward, a lot of companies will start reviewing their manpower and also try to rationalize them. This is what I expect in this field.
So which means from a developer perspective, it's important to upskill yourself in terms of what are the AI-enabled tools, etc. Right? Because even if you use a tool and you need to have that human intellect to kind of guide it, use it. Another thing when it comes to software engineering, I think also this really amplifies the importance of, say, developer programs or ecosystem programs per se. Because if you look at the explosion of use cases which are happening with ChatGPT, all are thanks to the developers who are using it, right? Because the core product as a platform has been created. Now you have open it up for ChatGPT plugins, you create multiple plugins, and then you come up with new use cases. For example, yesterday I was seeing something on Twitter wherein a developer has in real time converted a video, English video into Hindi, which was a combination of 3 or 4 cases, right? Wherein even the lip sync, it's very close, so it doesn't seem unnatural or jarring. So I think more power to developers, to the more innovative and more skilled developers will definitely find always.
Yeah. So ultimately will make developers more productive, essentially, and also developers can focus on high-end work where they can really analyze, write high-quality code, can write more volume of code, essentially, you can say, and also do things faster. And also, like, the regular software engineering is more functional right now in nature, but AI engineering and AI coding is more sort of related to data and more sort of iterative nature. Okay, so I think the nature of programming out there in AI world is very different. Okay, so I think so programmers can upskill themselves and then start focusing on those areas which needs really human intelligence. Okay, essentially.
Right. Also, many times it's also a issue that because there would be more opportunities when you learn AI, right? Because things which probably one would have never thought are possible, right? Those also open up new opportunities. So it's always a balancing game. So great. Thanks, Vaibhav. This really gives a great perspective. And thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. The presentation which Vaibhav has created will be there in the show call notes, along with some social media links and bonus content that you should definitely check. And do subscribe, share, like the podcast. This is available on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and many platforms. Bye for now. Talk to you soon.